Okay, you might have seen us for a brief second there before the intro kicked in, but we are here. Myself and Jake here to preview today's UFC London card. It's a fun card, maybe not the best card, but I think the matchups are all generally good. We're going to talk about them in a moment. We're not going to go super in detail on all of the matchups because we had the Verbal Money podcast a few days ago where we kind of went a bit more in depth. So we're going to do it a bit more relaxed today. Jake, how you doing, man?
I'm not so bad. I was just about to say there that it did the thing again where it shows us for like a little split second, and I got it because I've got it on my TV in the background, and I saw myself.
Honestly, that was on me. I was too slow on the button. So I'm taking full accountability for that one. But Jake, I asked you before we started if you saw Cage Warriors last night, and you didn't. So do you want to say what you were doing?
I didn't. I've been a very bold boy, Steve. I'll admit. I didn't watch Cage Warriors last night, even though I really wanted to. I went and saw Oppenheimer last night. I missed the first 10 minutes because some dickhead decided to crash his car. Look, I know him. It's fine.
You know the guy who crashed?
Yeah, it was a bunch of guys from my year in school crashed, and wow. It was quite an eventful evening. So I missed the first 10 minutes of Oppenheimer, sadly, but I watched the other 2 hours 50, and it is all 3 hours of the movie. There's no pussyfooting around it. But I thought it was awesome.
That's what I'd heard. It's like all
important. I thought Cillian Murphy was fantastic, obviously, but I thought Robert Downey Jr. absolutely stole the show. I thought he was fantastic, and I was sitting probably like 4 rows from the front, or 3 rows from the front. And I was watching it in IMAX, and you can feel the explosions going off in your bollocks. Like it's a serious piece of filmmaking.
Okay, man. I definitely want to check it out as well. So obviously coming off of that, when you plan to watch Barbie, that's the thing, right?
Do you know what? I said that to the lads I was going to the cinema with last night. I was like, "Oh, same time next week for Barbie," and one of them turns around and goes, "No, I'm actually going to see it tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh well, all right then, fair enough. It's all right." I heard that was good as well though. And actually, no, I didn't. I heard Ben Shapiro say it was shit, so it must be good.
That's generally the you go on the opposite of what he says, doesn't you? I don't know why we talk about this. We got UFC London in a bit. We had the weigh-ins yesterday. Has anything changed in your mind based on those weigh-ins?
Not particularly. I'm a little more confident in Paul Craig. I think there was a lot of questions to be asked on whether or not he could get down to 185 and what he'd look like doing it, because he was never a huge light heavyweight, but he always did look a little bit drawn out. But I thought he looked pretty good on the scales, not any worse than usual. The face paint, obviously, looking superb at the ceremonials. So, no, I think I'm a little more confident in Paul Craig. I've seen most people are picking against him, but I think he's going to get the job done. I think Muniz, I think his stock dropped quite a bit when he lost to Brendan Allen. And I think Paul Craig is still underrated. You look at the guys that he's lost to at light heavyweight. You've got, in his last 2 losses, Volkan Oezdemir, which was just not a good performance on Paul's part. I don't think it was a case of Volkan Oezdemir was that much better than him. I think it was just Paul didn't have a great performance. And then Johnny Walker, it's hard to predict Johnny Walker fights. He's very, very unpredictable. And a lot of people are losing to Johnny Walker at the minute. He's a bit of a dark horse at light heavyweight. So I think Paul is still, I don't think he's washed. I don't think he's past it. I think he could have a decent run at middleweight. But it all hinges on tonight's performance against a solid fighter in Andre Muniz.
Yeah, the thing with Paul Craig at light heavyweight is he kind of struggled against the power punches. Like, he can beat a lot of guys. He beat Ankalaev. He beat Jamal Hill. But, he struggled against the guys who can really hit. Like you say, Johnny Walker. Obviously, that's something that's going to be less there at middleweight. So, that's maybe an advantage he has. Muniz...
Particularly looking at the top 15 guys who he might be fighting after tonight. I mean, you look at Muniz himself, like he's not gonna sit there and bang with Paul Craig. And you look at the rest of the division, the only guy that really will come to mind who has serious one-shot knockout power is Jared Cannonier.
Yeah.
And he's, where is Cannonier's grappling at? That's another question now. I'm not saying Paul Craig is going to beat Jared Cannonier. I'm just saying that's probably his toughest matchup in terms of power punching strikers. And, there could be a way he could win there. So I think Paul Craig could have a decent run at 185 pounds, but it all depends on tonight, really.
Yeah, obviously Muniz had the world in his hands coming off of that Jacare fight. Next big thing, kind of stalled since then. A couple of lackluster performances, losing to Brendan Allen. It's a big fight for him as well to kind of prove that he still deserves to be in those rankings. He looked like he had a lot of potential. Then kind of tailed off. So he's at risk of being a middleweight, as Alex K. Lee would say.
Yeah, I think Muniz, he had just so much potential after the Jacare Souza fight, as you say, and then he didn't fight for a little while after that, and he had a couple of cancellations, and people, when you don't see a guy fight for a while, one of two things happens: either you forget about him completely, and he's out of your mind altogether, or he gets hyped up even more just because he hasn't been fighting, and people are upping him, and then he fought Uriah Hall. That was a bit of a dud, and then lost to Brendan Allen. So yeah, it's been a bit of a sharp decline for Muniz in probably the last year, but I still think he's talented. He's talented. He's got some of the best jiu-jitsu at 185 pounds. 100%. He could be a tricky matchup for Craig tonight because they're both solid grapplers. I know we were even talking about it this week. Is this going to end up being some sort of sloppy kickboxing match? But I don't think it will. I think Craig is probably the more capable striker from what I've seen, but still, I don't think he's going to be wanting to keep this one on the feet.
The potential is there though for that to happen. Obviously, this could be a really great grappling match for 15 minutes, incredible, or we could get that sloppy kickboxing. So I think, and there's not really any in between with this. I think I like that we went for this fight first. It's interesting.
It is. It's one of the fights that's not getting talked about a whole lot on the card because of where both guys are. As we say, Muniz is kind of fallen and stalking. Paul Craig had lost his last two. He had a lot of hype coming in this time last year. We were here talking about why isn't Paul Craig getting a title shot? Why isn't he in a title eliminator or something like that? He should be doing main events in Glasgow against Anthony Smith. And now look at where Anthony Smith is as well. Things have changed a lot in a year at 205. So yeah, they're both kind of in an odd situation. But in terms of pure technical ability and skill, I think these are probably two of the best guys on the whole card.
Yeah. We were also talking about the weigh-ins. Let's talk about Julia Stoliarenko. Who saw that coming?
She made weight. That's actually a shocker. Yeah, she looked better than when she used to make 135, which is insane. The only other time I've ever seen that happen is when Aldo moved down from 45 to 35 and somehow started looking better. So yeah, fair play to her. She made the weight. Most people expected her not to. I think Molly didn't expect her to. So yeah, I'm not picking her to win, but it's a moral win. She made the weight after most people felt that she wouldn't. So yeah, other than that, I don't think there were too many notes from the weigh-ins. Johnny Parsons was a pound over and then cut the pound. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The mind still boggles as to how Joel Alvarez still makes 155 pounds at 6'3".
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, we should mention we've got some guests joining us today. Not only to talk a little bit about this London card, but also what they've got going on. Our next guest has a huge title fight coming up just over a week's time in Ryzen. So of course, Super Ryzen 2 is the show on the 30th of July. Atomweight title fighting Seika Izawa, widely considered the best atomweight in the world. Right now, let's bring in Claire Lopez. Claire, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Good. Great to have you on the stream today. Big fight next week. I know you've got a busy travel day today as well. Before you even think about Japan. So how are these next few days going to look for you?
So I'm in France right now. Today I'm gonna go back to London, and tomorrow I have a last big training, I would say, with my coach Brad. And Monday, Tuesday gonna be just technical drill, and just focus on the weight cuts, and that's it. And we travel on Wednesday with Ashley Grimshaw to Japan, and that's it.
Yeah. Now, is this the same as what you did last time you went to Japan, or have you maybe made some changes? Are you going a little later? Are you going a little early to adapt? Or what's the process like there?
No, it's the same. They just pay for 5 nights in Japan, so we arrive on Thursday, and I'm fighting on Sunday morning. So it's gonna be the same. A little bit hard to adapt myself to the jet lag, but I'm gonna try to sleep earlier, and that it's not a real problem because I'm gonna fight on Sunday afternoon. I will get time to adapt myself. That's fine.
Yeah. So I know you've moved around a little bit between London and France as of late. Have you done a lot of your training in Paris for this one, or have you just been back a little while?
No, I didn't train at all in France. I just came to pick up my son. He stayed with me for the training camp in London, and 2 days ago I came back in France just to drop him, and now I'll go back. So I only train in London.
Okay.
I never train in Paris. No, actually.
Okay, we touched on it before you came on. The opponent, Seika Izawa, widely considered the best atomweight fighter in the world. Do you kind of agree with that assessment that she is the best atomweight in the world? Obviously, there's a couple of promotions in Asia doing good atomweight fights. Obviously, Invicta as well. Do you agree that she's kind of the top level there?
I don't really know because I don't know the other girls. For sure, she's one of the best. If she had Rising and Deep Zero belts, she must be very good. But when I watch her fight, I think she's a very good jiu-jitsu girl, but her striking is terrible. So for me, she's not a very good MMA fighter. She's not well-rounded, but it's like MMA back in the time where people were good in something, like good jiu-jitsu versus good karateka or kickboxing guy, She has something. You have to be aware. You have to be careful. But I think in MMA, I think I'm better. And yeah, my grappling, my striking is good. So I'm not really worried. I'm just going to be a good fight. But yeah.
Yeah, obviously. So then you say that your game plan, presumably, to try and keep it on the feet in this one? Because obviously we saw you with that submission in the last fight.
Yeah, so right after my last fight, I talked to my coach, my SNC coach, and I said my cardio was not good. And I know I didn't really train properly my cardio. I focused a lot on wrestling, grappling. But for this camp, I focused a lot on cardio, and I saw the improvement in my sparring. Even when I'm running, I see the difference. So yeah, this last 9 weeks, I really improved on my cardio. So it's not really now a problem. We fixed this, and we focus on something. We have to focus on the game plan for this girl.
Yeah. Jake, do you want to go in with anything?
I was just going to ask, what's it like for you to be a part of what's set to be a massive weekend for Ryzen? I know there's, if I'm correct, Bellator and Ryzen is on the Saturday, and then Super Ryzen 2 on the Sunday. What's it like for you to be a part of what's set to be a massive weekend in Japan?
So both events are on Sunday, but maybe with the time difference, it's going to be on Saturday evening. Just after my last fight, I really wanted to be on this card because I knew there will be like 40,000 people in the Saitama Super Arena, and if you fight in Japan, it's the place to fight. It's the biggest place to fight. It's really, for me, it's really something exciting. So I was really happy. This is exactly what I wanted, and fighting for the belt, it's the bonus, So it's like everything is going really well for me this year, finally. So yeah, all good. I'm super exciting and happy.
Anything else, Jake?
No, that's all for me.
Obviously, we need to talk about your team, GB top team. A lot of great fighters coming out of there now. Nathaniel's got a fight tonight, of course. Just talk about the environment there, because it seems like there's so many guys. Obviously, Nathaniel, Emma's got a Contender Series fight. Chanel's doing great things, just signed with PFL. A lot of great guys in that gym. So, and girls, of course. Talk a little bit about the environment down there.
I think we're growing really well as a team. We opened the gym last year in January, and now we're one of the biggest in UK. Tonight we also have Mark Dakisi. He's representing GB Top Team. Chanel is on PFL. We have Kate on Invicta. Now she's signed on Invicta. So it's a really big team. We're fighting in big organization, and we do a good result. We have a lot of finish in the fight. You know, a lot of wins. So it's good because we all push. For example, when I train with Chanel, I'm gonna push her in wrestling, and she's gonna push me on striking. We can all help each other. It's a very good energy we have in the team. There's no drama, no problem. We're just a good team, good family, and yeah, we're gonna grow a lot this year. Next year it's gonna be very huge for GB Top Team.
You mentioned obviously wanting to strike in this next fight. You think that's where Izawa's disadvantage is. Chanel's not a bad person to be working with for that, is she?
Yeah, for my last fight, I trained a lot with Chanel because I know my opponent was bigger than me. So Chanel is bigger than me. My opponent was a good striker like Chanel. But for this one, I didn't really train with Chanel. First, she was in Canada for a camp. And she's not really the good partner to work on this fight because my opponent is a grappler. She's a wrestler. She's smaller than me or my size. So I choose to train more with people who can take me down a lot. Always try to take me down and have a good position, good submission. But yeah, depending on the opponent, you choose your partner. You know, you choose your sparring. Yeah. So not this one. I didn't really train with Chanel.
Yeah. Obviously, we talked a little bit earlier about the huge weekend in Japan. Your last fight was in Yoyogi. This fight is in Saitama Super Arena. Does that, obviously, such a historic venue, does that mean anything to you at all, or is that something you think about?
Yeah, it's huge. It's not something that gives me stress or, you know, it's just good adrenaline. It's a good boost for me. I know we're going to do the waiting at the Saitama Arena. So we're going to see the arena before the fight. So we're going to take this energy, you know, this soul of the arena. And I can't wait. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to be there. Yeah, it's something huge, something big, and it's like a dream. Yeah, I think for a fighter, it's a dream to fight in this place.
Yeah, and obviously we talk about the collaboration between Bellator and Ryzen, but you're of course signed with Combate. So yeah, going in representing Combate, winning a Ryzen belt, what would that mean to you, and what do you think that would mean to the organization of Combate?
It's a good thing for Combate to be representing in Japan. Obviously, the problem with me is in Combate, I don't really have opponent. I don't really have offer from. It's not because of the matchmaker. I think it's because of the fighter. They just refuse to fight me. So I cannot stay and wait for a fight for 1-2 years. I can't be just waiting for something. So for me, it's the good opportunity to have this partnership because I can be more active. I can be busy this year, and yeah, it's good for Combate. They're happy to have someone there in Japan representing the brand, the promotion. And we're gonna try to. If I have this belt, I think I'm gonna next ask for the Combate Global belt. Because this is the only fight to do in Combate, I guess, in atomweight and strawweight, maybe strawweight. I don't mind to do this division in Combate.
Okay, I'm not going to take up too much of your time, so just quickly, when you and Seika Izawa get in the cage next weekend, give us the hard sell of the fight. What do people expect?
A finish. Yeah, I always want to. Well, so it will be in the ring, which is good. I've done all my training camp sparring in the ring at GB Top Team, and I really enjoy fighting in the ring. Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting fight, like always. I think they're gonna be surprised by what I'm gonna do. I really changed a lot of things in my game, especially for this fight. So yeah, a lot of improvement, a lot of new tools, no, new things are added in my style. So yeah, that's gonna be a good fight for sure, and a finish for
Yeah.
sure.
I
I
know
want to knock out this girl. To be honest.
I know you might not have a chance to watch UFC tonight. I know you're going to be flying. Big wins for Nathaniel and Mark, though, right?
So the first, I think they start in an hour, right? The prelim.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I can watch the first fight. Mark is on the prelim, but Nathan is later. Maybe we'll see when I arrive. But yeah, I will watch the replay.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time today, Claire, and joining
Thank
us.
you.
Best of luck next week.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Awesome. Big
Good
fight.
stuff.
Big fight next week. Saitama Super Arena. That's huge.
It's a big weekend next week.
Yeah.
For all combat sports, there's Crawford and Spence. There's 291. There's Bellator and Ryzen. Then there's Super Ryzen. There's probably more shows I've forgotten about now at this point. But yeah, that's a big weekend.
Yeah, UFC pay-per-view next weekend. Obviously, that's a big one. And for the boxing fans, we've got Errol Spence and Bud Crawford.
What time is that starting at? Because I might stick that on if I don't know if it's on the same time as 291. I might put it on the background.
Main events might clash, which is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Hopefully they do the old Canelo thing. Canelo laying in the dressing room waiting for the fight to start, or waiting for McGregor to finish.
That was Diaz and Masvidal. I think that was the first BMF fight. Yeah.
So it makes sense to do it for the second BMF fight. Speaking of Masvidal, obviously, he's going to be there presenting the belt.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. Yeah, playing.
Yeah, all right. I can get on board with that. Look, we're not massive fans of Masvidal on here, but it makes sense. I suppose he had the best. I mean, Leon Edwards should really be the BMF champion. Let's be honest here, but it's fine. You're just gonna make up the rules as you go along.
He's certainly the linear BMF champion.
Oh, he's the lineal bit. Oh, yeah, we'll have to unify it eventually.
Yeah. Are we ready for Ngannou to be the lineal boxing champion and the lineal UFC champion, or is that a bit?
I thought you were about to ask me, you ready for Ngannou to come on? I was like, you didn't fucking tell me that. All right then.
Big interview here.
You know what? It'd be fucking hilarious if Ngannou went over in his first professional boxing match and beat the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. So, yeah, what? The WBC title is not going to be on the line, so it's not a title fight. But at the same time, if he loses, it's a pro boxing match, so he's not the lineal champion anymore, is he?
In theory.
No. So, yeah, here we go. Francis Ngannou, lineal UFC heavyweight champion, lineal boxing heavyweight champion. You can do the math on it as well. He's like the lineal UFC 1 champion if you work out who beat who after a while. So yeah, he's the lineal MMA heavyweight champion. Yeah. And now he's going to be the lineal boxing heavyweight champion. Fury's not making it outside of 2 rounds. Telling you now.
Yeah. I'm going to get this link over to our next guest. So I guess talk a little bit about something else that stands out to you on tonight's card.
Chris Duncan versus Yanal Ashmouz, I think, is getting overlooked. I think that's going to be a cracker of a fight for as long as it lasts. Either it'll be a 3-round slugfest, as Chris Duncan likes to do, or someone's going to get flattened, also as Chris Duncan likes to do. But so does Ashmouz. I went back and I rewatched his fight with Sam Patterson today, and
it's violent.
He's so violent. Like it really, he really hurt Sam Patterson in a way I've never seen someone hurt another human being. So yeah, I think that's going to be exciting. Sean O'Bannon. I mean, need I say any more? Shauna fucking Bannon. She's coming in. She's going to take the UFC by storm. I'll tell you what, she's going to be world champion by the end of the year. That's my prediction. Kaylin Loughran, bantamweight champion by the end of the year. Reese McKee, welterweight champion by the end of the year. Paul Hughes, featherweight champion by the end of the year. And you know,
the takeover's on again. The takeover's on again.
Takeover's on again, lads. Don't you even worry about it. McGregor, he'll end up being the fucking heavyweight champion by the end of the year. So if he fights, that is. Apparently he's out scrapping in Liverpool now. So
just check Instagram quick, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that stands out to me, obviously we've got these two featherweight fights, Nathaniel Wood versus Andre Fili, as we just touched on with Claire, and Lerone Murphy versus Josh Gulabau. I think people are still a little bit disappointed that Nathaniel and Lerone aren't fighting each other, but these are both banger fights, aren't they?
Yeah, Gulabau versus Murphy, I don't think it's getting any respect. That's going to be so entertaining for as long as it lasts. And Wood and Fili, like we were saying this week, Fili is never in a bad fight. He's always exciting, whether he's winning or losing. And I feel like Fili's been doing okay lately, but I went and checked. He's like 1 win in his last 4, I think. Which is odd because it feels like he's in the best form of his career. So
I've got the card. Let me pull it up. Let me see these fights.
Yeah. Yeah, he
won his last one against Bill Algeo. Lost to Joanderson Brito, lost to Bryce Mitchell, and then beat Charles Jourdain before that.
Yeah, there's no contest with Pineda squashed in there somewhere as well.
Yes,
so
that's in the middle.
But to be fair, he probably should have won that. Oh, not really, because there was a foul in that, but he was clearly the better fighter, is what I mean. You know, it's a whole, Piotr Jan should have beat Aljamain Sterling in the first fight. Well, he didn't. There was a foul. But at the same time, we all know who was looking better. So yeah, I think Fili is. I think he's good. I think it's one of the tougher fights that Wood could have gotten at 145. But Wood is in such good form at the minute. His performance this time last year against Charles Rosa is one of the most lopsided performances I've seen in recent years.
Yeah, I was in the building for that one. That was bad.
Yeah, that was. Look, if only Charles Rosa got that decision.
Yeah,
exactly. he could be UFC champion today.
Yeah,
and then he followed up. What was it, like 6-8 weeks later?
It was July to
September, I think. Something like that. It was a little under 2 months, I think. And he turned around and beat Charles Jourdain, who was another great fighter in his own right. So yeah, Wood could make a serious run at 145. I think if he wins this, he's probably deserving of a fight against a ranked opponent. Actually, I'll pull up the rankings now and see who could be available if he wins tonight, because that'd be 3. I say that'd be 3 dominant wins. He could scrape out a win by the skin of his teeth tonight. But presuming he wins and he gets a dominant win, there's Alex Caceres, Edson Barboza, Dan Ige. Dan Ige would be a good fight. I think that's one fight he wouldn't be.
That's a good one.
He wouldn't be outsized in that either, which we don't want for him, because Edson Barboza used to be a lightweight. For fuck's sake,
I think if you're matching Edson with one of them, you do Edson and Lerone. I think that's a good fight.
That will be a good fight, yeah. And you have to say the same for Lerone as well. If he wins tonight, I think you need to give him a ranked opponent, because he's been fighting guys who are not below his caliber, but he's been deserving of a ranked fight for a while now.
His issue is he doesn't fight often enough. That's all. But he's had 2 this year. So
yeah, that's decent. You've got Sadiq Youssef, Bryce Mitchell. Obviously, I don't know when Bryce Mitchell's going to be back after whatever the fuck he did to his shoulder.
I might have missed this. Was this in a fight?
No, he was meant to fight. He was meant to fight Movsar Evloev, and he did something to his shoulder. But you can see on embedded from his neck all the way down to his arm was pure purple.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and the same on the other side as well. So
both shoulders.
Yeah. So, fuck knows when he's going to be back. What's the story with Giga? Is Giga ever coming back, or did Cater just beat him into an early retirement?
Okay. We're going to bring Oban in a second, by the way. He just got back.
Oh, spoiler! That's the guest. I know he's in the thumbnail and the title.
It's in the graphic.
He's in everything, right? He's like the selling point to get people to watch this. But he's also our surprise guest. It's Oban Elliott, and then he jumps in and he's like, "Hey guys,
there is a chance we have another surprise guest after this. A chance.
That's true. We'll use him as our surprise.
Yes.
Should he exist? I mean, I don't know who you're talking about, Steve. We're not going to have another surprise guest. There's no surprises here.
Maybe a man whose name sounds like a country.
There's no country called Falambo. That's Jesus, Steve. You're not on the ball today. This fucking guy.
Sorry. Yeah. The link's over, so any second. This is going to be fun. Oban's a great guy.
Yeah, he is. He's
got some beef, haven't you, Jake?
Look up beef. He's just there is no need for it. There is no need. I was gonna post that as the whole interview, and I decided I can't. It's just it'll ruin any credibility I have, so I had to cut it. But no, if he wants to call me a virgin backstage at the London media or at the Dublin media room, that's fine. That's his business. It's not nothing got to do with me. It's fine. It's just I'm gonna add some trick questions to the trivia, try and trip him up a bit.
Oh, is he doing? He's not doing the trivia, is he?
He can if he wants.
Yeah, he's obviously got a big fight coming up. Just a few weeks. Contender Series starts real soon.
Yeah,
in August.
You know what? I always get excited when Contender Series comes around, and then I never end up watching it. I tell myself
these last couple of years I've watched like every episode. I think
I think
it's fun.
Yeah, that's because you don't sleep. That's your thing.
True.
Like I like to go to bed, Steve. I get up for some events. I stay up for some events. But when it comes to Contender Series and it's people that I don't know most of the time. And I'm like, I'm just not arsed. I'll catch the fucking replays in the morning. But no, I will stay up and I will watch Open fight. And I'll watch the Hardwick fight and who else good is on this?
GB Top Team is on there as well in a few weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, there's a few people I'll stay up and watch. Can I not just lump them all onto one card? So I have to get up for one.
Have all the Europeans on one card and put it on at a good time. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. It's fucking sound. Stick it on Virgin Media, please.
Okay, on that, which is a very perfect link to our next guest. In fact, very happy to be joined by Oban Elliott ahead of his Contender Series fight next month. Oban, how you doing, man?
What's happening, boys? Seem to be having a bit of track. How's it going, boys?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. I don't know. This has all gone fucking back.
Yeah, it's because we've brought you. It's because we've brought you into the mainstream. That's all. It's fine.
What the fuck, mate? I don't know how to hold my. Oh, that'll do.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I can usually do it sideways better.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. Oh, it has for you.
Oh, no, it does.
It didn't do that when you tried, Jake.
No, it fucking hates me, lad. That's everyone knows that by now.
What's happening, boys?
Awesome, man. Great to have you today, man. How are you feeling just a few weeks out from your fight?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. You know, it's fucking training camp. It's, you know, I'm training like mega hard for this one as well. Like every little fucking, you know, I kind of keep that voice in my head thinks like, right, fuck, you're going in the UFC if you win this fight. So it's kind of made me push as hard as I can. Like, you know what I mean? Probably a little bit too hard. But fuck it. I'd rather die than lose. So
that's something that plays on your mind. Obviously, being in Cage Warriors, you know that chance is obviously there anyway. But now you know, like,
yeah, I know
it's a real thing that like this fight is gonna make or break. Essentially, that plays on your mind.
Exactly. I'm literally, you know, fucking Reese McKee just got signed. I wish I say wish. Like, if he'd have got signed before my that Cardiff card, I would have been fighting for the fucking vacant belt, and then it was just the way it all planned, you know, happened really. Like, I would have been fighting for the vacant title in Cardiff, but because they were figuring out what was going on with Reese, it took a while to come up with who I was going to fight, and then Sean Shelby got in touch before Cage Warriors sent me a concrete opponent, and then we were like, oh, all right then, fucking here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, Jake, you got anything you want to say to Oban?
Yeah, just in terms of your opponent who you're going up against, I know you're showing him a lot of praise on your social medias. You know, you're taking on a former Octagon world champion. What do you make of him as an opponent just a couple of weeks out from the fight?
What does Octagon world champion even mean? Who's he? I don't know anyone who fights over there. So it could mean like he's amazing. Like, it's like all these belts and accolades and all that outside of the UFC. You can't really pay too much attention to it. You know, apart from, I'd say, the Cage Warriors world champion, you know, has all the makings to be he could be just good enough to be a UFC champion. You know what I mean? But then you look at like the fucking LFA world champion, or you look at the Octagon world champion, you look at the what's that place down in Brazil? They say, like, you know, you got these regional shows all over the place. Like the PFL world champion, I guess the Bellator world champion at the time, Bama world champion. Like, you don't really know how good they are until you chuck them in there with, you know, and I don't really know how good this guy is until I'm going to be locked in the cage room. So he's literally double my record. He's 16-4. I'm 8-2. There's no amateur MMA in Brazil, so like the first 10 fights, you know, nobody knows who the fuck he was fighting. No, you know, they haven't even got credible pages to click on. And my first amateur fights, I had 8 amateur fights, and 7 of them were under the Cage Warriors fucking undercards in front of thousands of people. So I basically had, you know, 10 professional Cage Warriors fights plus 7 on the amateur undercards. I've had 17 fights with the Premier League in European MMA, which has proven to be the most, you know, the best feeder to the UFC. So we can talk about his Octagon world title all we like, but I'm one of the best fighters in the world coming out of Cage Warriors. Do you know what I mean? So, and Cage Warriors is the proven path. So we'll see how good he is.
Yeah, you've only got to look at the amount of guys obviously gone straight from Cage Warriors to the UFC. Couple of guys we found out, as you touched on, Reese McKee and Karen Loughran, both gone directly to the UFC. Yeah, we've got yourself, we've got George Hardwick on Contender Series. Do you have any insight into how they maybe choose who's going straight there and who does Contender Series? And what do you think about that?
I mean, George, if Kalen and Reese are getting signed, I don't know how George didn't get signed. Because they got titles, but like we've been speaking to we've been speaking to the UFC for a little bit now, so we knew like we thought we would have to get the Cage Warriors title to get a call up, or to get something. But when we got the fucking contender one, we thought that was it was shaky. My manager, Richard Shaw, called this like almost fight for fight. You kind of got it spot on. And then when I beat Xi'an, they come back with the contender series. So I'm happy with my position because and Justin Burleson just got a call up, didn't he, to the contender series? He's already been on them. But like, you know, I don't have a world title, so me being on the contender series like kind of makes sense. But then I don't know how you differentiate with who's good enough to get just a straight sign up or who's fuck knows really. Getting the call up to the contender series is just like getting called up to the UFC, except you've got to fight someone for the you've got to basically win your win your debut to get the contract kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's exactly the same, but mine's just, you know, if Kaylin and went in there and lost now, they'd be pretty devastated, wouldn't they? So it's kind of the same thing, really. It's exactly the same. No one's going to want to lose their fucking UFC debut, are they? And if you lose your UFC debut, you'd have kind of wished you had more time to go there anyway. So it's pretty similar. I don't know, but I guess you know, the journalists are fucking basically shitting all over the contender series and saying that boys should get called up, but to fighters, fucking hell, don't make a blindest bit of difference. Yeah.
Jake?
I was just thinking, as you were mentioning there, that Kaylin and Reese spoke at the call-ups were seriously running out of fighters to headline this Cage Warriors Dublin show. So I mean, if you don't mind popping back to Dublin for a little once off, so just so we have a good main event, you know.
Well, it could have been me and Xi'an for the title, couldn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing, and that was cracker fight as well. And yeah, I think an extra 2 rounds would have been good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, you know, he's good enough to fucking get there, but I said it in the lead up to that fight, like, fucking hell, he's just the right guy in the right place at the wrong time. Like, what did he fight? He fought Matt Bonner as a debut. Then he had Ian Gary. Then he went on a 5-fight winning streak. It's all looking really good. And then the one guy he probably didn't want to have to fight, he had to fight. Do you know what I mean? So give Reese fucking give James a couple more fights. He'll be right knocking on the door, won't he? So yeah.
I know you've built something of a reputation as Chael Sonnen's favorite fighter, and I know him and the UFC don't see eye to eye anymore since he left for Bellator. But could you make a special request, see if you can get Uncle Chael in the Apex?
Yeah, he fully would get involved when I get there. Trust me. With the fucking contender series, I don't know how that's gonna. I don't even know who's allowed to fucking go watch. Nobody really knows. I think you get 2 friends and family, but I'll extend the invite to Chael 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Well, you were able to go over to the Apex a few weeks ago. How was that experience for you?
Fucking mate, it was like, it seemed cool at the time, but you know when I rolled up there in the bus that they pick you up in, you know when I actually turned up and I remember thinking, right, this is not the time to be a little fanboy. This is my new workplace, mate. I walked in, stuck my fucking chest out and let everybody know that I was that, you know, they were going to see me again. And they were going to be working with me for a while. I didn't let the whole occasion intimidate me. So obviously it's cool from a fan perspective because I'm a fan at the end of the day. But when I got there, I knew you kind of get a sense, you know, you got to treat it like work, and you got to treat it like you treat the fucking cage in the gym. And that's how I'm going to be treating this cage in fucking 4 weeks' time. 4 weeks. Not long. Mad.
That's crazy, man. We were just talking before you came on. That's not long.
It's not long.
No. Contender series starts in a couple of weeks. That's crazy.
We're going to find out soon enough.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Fucking mad.
Jake, do you want to go with anything?
I was just going to ask you, how are you doing weight-wise now that it's 4 weeks away? I know you moved up from 55 to 70, so I presume your weight's not all that. I presume you're not cutting that much to get down to 70.
Everyone always says that, but no, I'm cutting the same amount of fucking full-size welterweight would cut, but I used to cut just double. So I was just a welterweight, just going down a ridiculous amount. So I'm still, I'm weighing like, I think I was like 192 the other day, and I used to be like around this, but think right, if I get to like 185, then I get to like 180, and then I get to 175. So I get the fight week, and I just be trying to melt the weight off to get to 155 because I did it what 4 years ago. I had two fights at lightweight where I made it by the skin of my teeth, and thought that was my weight class, but really I should have had no business fighting there. So yeah, my weight's good though. I'll make it no problem, but it's just obviously it's just part of the game. It's just a shit week or two really, but other than that it's doable. Discipline.
We were saying there earlier with Reese going to the UFC in Paris. If he gets through his first fight and you get through the Contender Series, that was a fight that we could have seen in Cage Warriors if neither of you were the call up. So is that one that we could see?
The way I see it is like, why would you fucking put two boys in from, I don't know, one of us will have to take a backward step then, and we're both kind of from it's like we both come in the same secondary school together, you know what I mean? We both did our GCSEs together. Why would you fuck it up for each other in the future? So, but mate, we'll see. I get on with Reese. There's other guys I would rather, there's other boys' careers I would rather damage than Reese McKee's, because me and Reese, I get on, but we'll see what the fuck happens with all that. I'm in a position where fuck them all anyway. I'm gonna just get through this Brazilian boy and give him my absolute all, and then what comes after that comes. I don't really care about anything else really.
Obviously, we've got UFC London tonight. Your goal to get on there next year, is that something you think about or not really?
Well, yeah, and in the same fucking breath, I would love to be on there. I think that would make sense, wouldn't it? So say I get through this, I get the contract. I'll probably fight again before the end of the year, and then I'll be on fucking UFC London without a doubt. Man. I was in it nearly on it. I was fucking, mate. I was a cup of coffee off getting on there this year, mate. They literally just decided to go with someone else.
So you had discussions with them for this year?
Yeah, mate. Flat out back and forth with that Chris Duncan fight.
Oh yes, yeah.
And it was just like we were fucking training for it. I was it was similar to how I first went to lightweight. I wasn't very well for a few weeks. I'd lost like loads of weight. Say loads of weight. I was like 82 kilos, which is about 183 pounds. And then that Duncan fucking fight come up, and I thought, right, if I'm ever gonna make lightweights now, and then I thought even if I would have got in that fight and had a terrible weight cut and got filled in, at least I would have been in the UFC then, But yeah, that fight was fucking so close to happening.
Yeah, and that's like kind of what a lot of guys do to get into the
UFC.
they
do. Yeah,
kind of skip this Contender Series process.
Yeah, say again, sorry.
That's like guys will obviously wait for a short notice fight to try and skip that Contender Series process. I know Josh Kulabau, who's on the card tonight, he's a featherweight. Yeah. His debut was short notice lightweight fight against Jalen Turner. He said he wasn't expected to win that fight. He just did it to get in the UFC.
Yeah, well, there we are then. Yeah. The Contender Series process, what's so bad about it all of a sudden? Or is it just me?
I think it's a fun show. I think people's issue is the people use it as like they're filling up the roster with guys on lower contracts. Is I think a lot of people's issue with it. I think people enjoy the show.
How much do you think boys are on just getting called up?
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're on fucking a couple of. They're on like £1,500 more. Who get the straight call up? They're not. They're on fuck all. They're not on a massively. They're not on like 25 and 25. You know what I mean? A contender series is 10 and 10. Boys will probably be on like 12 and 12. Like that, if that. Might even be on 10 and 10. But you won't get signed to the UFC. Like the boys coming from Cage Warriors, they're not on fucking. When they get their first call up, they're on like shitty contracts. Everyone is, unless you get the likes of the boys like Paddy, who turned them down a couple of times, and I know Jack Shaw, my teammate, he got a good one because he turned him down a couple of times, and he got into a good kind of negotiation with him. But everyone else who gets called up, you have what you're given. I bet the boys are on 12 and 12. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I bet the boys who just got called up now are on 12 and 12. If I'm wrong, I probably, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned Jack there. You mentioned Shaky earlier.
Yeah.
Amazing news this week, right?
Yeah. With the baby, yeah?
And Shaky.
And that was it. Was that this week? Was that last week? Yeah, obviously you had the fucking all clear with the cancer, and then Jack's obviously just had a baby, so they've had a fucking whirlwind a couple of weeks. But yeah, great news. It's good to see.
Pulling back the curtain a little bit. We were talking about bringing Jack on here. We would have you and Jack on. We would have you and Jack on together, but he's kind of got bigger priorities at the minute. So we'll.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it was a maybe for all of the week because he was going for an operation, and then we texted him yesterday, and he said, "Oh yeah, I just had a baby," and we're like, "Okay, we'll leave that one out. It's all right."
Yeah,
don't worry about
Yeah,
he just had a kid, bless him.
Yeah, be great to get you and Jack on one of these together.
Yeah, you'll probably
be a lot of fun.
I'll be up for it. Yeah. What time's the card start tonight? I didn't even know what time it starts.
I think it's 5. It's in half an hour. The first
preview. Yeah, half an hour.
Yeah. I know you said you're feeling a bit under the weather, so we're not going to take up too much of your time. Just
I've just got a couple of bits and bobs that don't really want to disclose, but
that's fine.
Yeah, Other than that, I'm all right, mate. Fucking hell, it's just training camp, innit? Yeah. But yeah, anything else you want to know, boys?
Just like
say again.
Just give us the hard sell. What can people expect when they tune into your fight on the Contender Series?
Oh fucking hell, mate! What can they expect? Oh yeah, do you reckon? How do you even watch it over here? I don't know how you watch it.
It's on Fight
Pass.
Oh, is it on Fight Pass? Yeah. Yeah. Mate, I'm just gonna be fucking fighting my balls off the whole time I'm in there, mate. Just fighting to their death. I'm not really. It's different in it. I'm not like my last few fights. I've kind of been like, must win. Don't take many risks fights because I've had a few. It kind of took too many risks at the start of my career. So I didn't want to take too many more. I wanted to make sure I get through the last couple because I was kind of at a crossroads. But now I've done that, I can go back to how I truly perform. Nice and aggressive, fast pace, off the mark, go for the kill.
Awesome. You mentioned obviously the London card there. You're going to be watching it a bit, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I want to watch that. There's loads of people. That's like a Cage Warriors card from fucking 5 years ago. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, the London card. You always see those same names on the London cards, and they're usually good cards. So
that's what you got to think. Like the boys now. Imagine in 5 years' time for us, it'd be me, fucking Jordan Vucenic, George Hardwick, Harry Hardwick. All that slot will be UFC boys. That's mad to think, isn't it?
Yeah. We had a question just come in from the Energize Show boys. How's the new car, Oban?
Fucking hell. It's fucking What the fuck? Oh, mate, it's unbelievable, mate. I'm just driving around everywhere really slow. It's taking my time. Don't want to get out the fucking thing.
What's the story? What have you got?
I got. Do you want to see it? Can you be able to see it from here? Yeah.
Wherever Oban goes, the Energized boys are always here.
Mate, the Energized boys love
seriously.
it. Wait there.
On the gangster, yeah, go on, boys.
I think we've lost Oban. I think Oban's kind of off it.
Oh,
It's too good to be true.
Ask the shots. That's it.
How you boys doing, Energized guys? You good?
Yeah. Don't be fucking trying to sell the fucking Black Forge points as well. He's been doing that last time he was on.
What's that?
We have your audio.
Wait, you can't see me?
No, you're frozen.
It's a static. Yeah.
Fucking thing. Am I gone? Hello.
I mean, it's a static shot of you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck's sake. I was going to show you the car, boys. Right, I'll put you back on the Wi-Fi now.
Ah, okay. That's what did it. Okay.
Well, yeah, because I can't go outside with the Wi-Fi, can I?
True. Okay.
Am I back? Fuck it, boys.
Not just yet.
That was
my
not
back,
back.
boys. Have I just destroyed the call? Ah. Right, ready, boys?
Oh, no. Born ready.
Can you see me now?
It's still it's still the same.
Yeah, no, it's still. Oh wait, no, hold on. Oh shit.
No, I did that.
Oh, you pulled them. Okay.
Now we've just got a black screen.
Oh, for fuck's sake, mate.
Fuck's sake, Steve. Come on.
Steve, what are you fucking doing?
I know.
Man,
and you were giving out to me. You were giving out to me about being unprepared, and this fucker can't run a stream.
I mean, it's me taking the heat from Oban and not Jake this time. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, lad, I got a bollocking back in Dublin.
Oh, yeah.
You remember now, Jake? Remember now?
Yeah, I just give you some loads of shit for no reason.
Yeah, you give me a cruller, lad. In front of everyone.
Sorry, mate. I'm sorry about that, bro.
Call me a virgin on video and everything, man. Jesus. You fucking did me bad.
Can you see me yet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Why did I call you a virgin again? I can't remember.
You were there drinking the Energized boys got you a pint, and you asked me if I wanted some, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm 16, lad. It's not gonna look good for you." And you broke off into a tangent, and you were like, "I started drinking when I was 12, and I was like, lost my virginity when I was 12. I was like, mate, you're a fucking virgin as well, man." And I was like, "Lad, this is gold, but I can't post it."
Oh, fucking hell. I'm not going to be able to show you it, lads.
Nah, I think Richard's going to combust if you don't show us.
If I don't find... It's a bit... Alright, Sweeney, I'll show you now. How do you flip this camera on?
I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
No, I reckon you just have to use your front camera and just...
I'm using my laptop, so I couldn't.
Yeah, just hold your phone backwards.
On the phone.
And see if my Wi-Fi fucking holds up. It's only been there, see.
This is not how I thought this UFC London preview was gonna go. I'll be honest.
Yeah, don't worry.
No, I expected nothing less from him. Don't worry.
Are you still with me?
Yeah, we got you, mate.
You still with me, boys? All right, we still got a bit of bars. We still got bars.
Just about. Yeah.
We still in?
Yeah, we got you.
Still going?
Yeah, just.
Yeah. Okay. Woo! Fucking thing.
Right, we're getting a frame reference.
Can you see
That is actually
That's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice.
that's a
Is
nice
that a
card.
personalized plate as well? Is that a personalized plate? Oh no, I didn't think so.
Nah, it's a fucking.
Oh,
What do you
shit.
think it is, Steve? Yeah,
Fucking
buddy.
Steve, man. This guy.
Come on, Steve. For fuck's sake.
I know.
Wow.
Don't tell me you're a virgin as well. Ah.
I tell you what, right?
Ah.
Tell you what. After seeing what was it? It was a couple of weeks ago. Oh fuck! I forgot what card it was. Oh, it was Emmett and Taporia, right? Didn't John Anik put out a thing that he was watching Jamie's interview? So we know John Anik watches these interviews for people's like fights and shit like that. I swear that I hope he finds this. I hope he finds this.
I'm gonna like edit this out and just upload the Oban bit on its own away from the screen. I'm doing that.
What do you mean the Oban bit, boys? This is just what I'm like, mate. The way the fucking. I thought this girl was coming on the stream. That's what I was going to ask you.
Oh, Claire Lopez. She was on earlier.
Yeah, we had her on before you.
But I bet you're
the main event of Oban.
I bet you're right all over that, weren't you, boys? I bet Stevie boy was like, yeah. No. Oh, fuck.
Oh, I'm so glad this is on the internet. Oh, fuck. Yeah. There's no escaping this one, lads.
It might not be for long, given I handle this, so.
Why? Oh, Steve. Fucking hell, Steve.
Yeah. I know he's a maniac, lad. He's a
dirty candle, Steve.
All right, back onto the London before this spirals out of control. Who have you got in the main
event? Go on then, boys. What else have you got for me? Come on. Fucking
main event tonight. Who have you got?
Big Tom, mate. Fucking Big Tom.
Tommy Two-Legs.
I was watching. You know, as you get on in this fight game, yeah, you stop giving a fuck about other fighters, right? Because you're like, you know, you just once you're in it, you understand what people are like, and you just think, fucking, you know, you can see who's full of shit and who isn't. And I was up the Manchester Cage Warriors most recent one in April. I was sat by who was I sat by? I was sat by Paddy Pimblett, and over comes Big Tom. And that was the first time in a long time I was like, fuck, that's Tom Aspinall. And he come up to me and fucking extended his hand out, and I stood up and shook his hand, and I was like, fucking hell, that is Tom Aspinall. Like, fuck. You know, and as I said, like in the fight game, once you're in it, you see fighters who, and you're like, he's a bit of a clown, blah, blah, blah. But Tom is like he's a king, mate. He's an absolute king. He's one of the boys leading the way anyway, you know, and I think he's going to be the first British heavyweight champion of the world in MMA. 100%. Well,
Steve here actually hates Tom Aspinall. He actually tried to hit him with a door once at Cage Warriors. Yeah, he nearly killed him.
Tom Aspinall's the man.
For you, mate.
Tom Aspinall's the man.
Don't be.
What was it? What was that business with the door? What was that business with the door, Steve? You were there. You weren't at Cage. Were you at Cage Warriors or were you at the press conference?
Steve, tell the fucking truth now, mate.
Yeah, he was coming through. He went to go push through the door, and he nearly decapitated Tom Aspinall.
Oban knows the Indigo. So I was at the Indigo, right, for Cage Warriors in March.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the arena. I was going back out to the media room.
Yeah.
I opened the door, massive door. Tom Aspinall's like no windows, nothing. It's the door that you guys walk out from.
Ah.
Yeah. I opened the door. Tom Aspinall standing right on the other side. If he was like a little bit closer, I would have like hit him with it. But I didn't. I'm a big fan of Tom Aspinall. Really big guy.
Yeah, that was bang out of order, mate. You should have knocked before you pushed the door.
That's it. You don't know if Tom Aspinall is going to be on the other side of a door. I don't go through a door without knocking out of fear Tom Aspinall is going to be on the other side.
Yeah.
Because one of these days he will be. He's going to fuck me up. Right? I'm a slit of a lad. He's a unit of a fella. He fucking goes through me.
Don't fuck Big Tom, mate. He'll fucking sling you around, mate.
Yeah. I'm well aware.
Oh, fucking sadly, not enough Welsh representation on this card, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, Tanks obviously he's got his injury and he's got a fucking kid on the way. What are you drinking there, Steve? What are you up to, bud? What are you up to, Steve?
I'm not gonna. It's power.
Oh, fucking hell. What are you doing, Steve, you little cunt? Come on.
You're not drinking Prime, the official hydration beverage of the UFC?
You're having a little drink there, aren't you, Steve? I know the score, mate.
I don't drink, for the record.
I don't drink. But you're right for the parties, you mad backwards.
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually a fucking class Northside Dublin accent, to be fair. He's nailed that.
You're right for the he said that to Khabib, didn't he? When Khabib says, I don't drink. Why don't you drink, Steve?
I just don't.
Fucking hell.
He's got no good excuse.
Same as Jake when I offered you that stout in Dublin, mate. I was what? Did you have a sip?
No.
That's fucking rude to turn the ship down, mate.
Yeah, I couldn't. Like, there was cameras everywhere. I was going to get the Energized boys in fucking court for it. Like, there's.
You can't. You're telling me you can't drink it when you're 16? Yeah, you can, but
not legally over here.
Fucking everyone does, mate.
Yeah, I know that, but I could in a place surrounded by cameras. The room we were in, there was a camera in every corner of the room. I don't think it would have reflected quite poorly on them. And what's the world if we don't have the big man with the little mic and the fucking green glasses and everything? There's no point if he ends up going to prison. So
ain't gonna put you in jail for fucking feeding some fucking boy a bit of stout, is he? They ain't gonna go in jail.
You wouldn't know, lad. You wouldn't know over here. Sean O'Bannon, though. I tell you what, though, she's fucking champion by the end of the year. McKee's going to be champion by the end of the year. Loughran's going to be champion by the end of the year.
Oh, UFC champion?
Yeah, lad. Yeah. Everyone's going to be champion by the end of the year. Don't worry.
That's Sean O'Bannon's. She's going to be the champion.
Nah, lad. She has a good shot, to be fair. And I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Like, she's going to have her performance tonight. I think she's going to look good. I think she's going to do good things at 115. But only time will tell.
Time will tell.
That's it.
You bet you like Sean O'Bannon, don't you, Steve? I bet you're all over her Instagram, aren't you, Steve?
I genuinely don't know if I follow her. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Of course not, lad. Of course not.
Yeah, you do.
Tell you what, so if we have time, I can get through some of the trivia I had prepared. I'll stick it on both of you here if you want.
You want to do some UFC trivia, Oban?
Have I got tickets for it?
No. Do you want to do some trivia?
Oh yeah, go on then.
Okay. All right.
Steve? As you are so nicely.
Who was the first Welsh fighter in the UFC? Was it Jack Shore, John Phillips, Jack Marshman, or Corey McKenna?
Did you plan this?
Jack Marshman.
All right, he's gone with Marshman.
Yeah, Marshman.
Marshman.
Yeah, but
Correct.
who was the first Welshman to fight in the UFC?
Yeah, Marshman, wasn't it?
Nah, Brett Johns, bro. Marshman was the first to sign, but Marshman was the first to sign. But Brett was the first to fight because Brett took a short notice fight. See, you didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't actually. Now that I think about it,
Got the expert on.
yeah. Oh fuck. That's tell you what.
Nah, I
fuck
just
Google.
fucked you.
Oban
I just
Elliott.
fucked you.
That's what you need to be answering your questions.
I've just fucked you up with that, but you were right with the first person. The first Welshman to sign was Marshman, but the first one to actually fight was Brett.
All right. Lerone Murphy, in his first 3 UFC fights, he fought in the same venue. Where was it? Was it Lexington, Kentucky? Was it London, England? Was it West Lynn, Oregon? Or was it Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi.
Big
It
pop
was
for the
Abu Dhabi.
Big pop for the Westland,
mad,
Oregon,
isn't
but
it?
it was
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
It was Abu
Steve, you
Dhabi.
going to answer any of these?
No, you know what? He's kind of trouncing you here. I won't lie.
I got it right too.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to be quicker
Fine.
or louder. Who
I
was
gotta be louder than the Welsh gangster.
who was Guy Herbert's first UFC fight? Was it
Francisco
Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
Fuck, he was on it. I was hoping I was good. Right, bit of backstory.
Back then.
Bit of backstory. Right, some of these answers are hen and brow for no reason because we were looking at earlier this week. We were looking at could that fucking ChatGPT could that do questions for us? And it's telling us that Hen and Brow had fights he just never had. So in honor of that, we've decided Hen and Brow will be an answer for some of these things.
All right, go on.
Yeah. How many performance bonuses does Paul Craig have? 5, 6, 7, or 8?
5.
Fuck knows, mate.
All right, he's going with 5. It's 7, boys. It's 7. He's actually got.
That seemed way too high to me. That's why.
Yeah, that's what he's in the top 10 all-time performance bonuses, I think.
Fucking hell, badly.
Yeah.
I mean, when he wins, he usually does it impressively. So.
My name is Paul Craig, and I'm from Scotland.
No, he's killer with the accent, ain't he? Yeah. He's fucking class.
Shall I do Steve's accent? Yes, Steve. Sorry, Steve. Hey, I'm only winding you up, mate.
I know. It's all good, man.
Oh, mate, I've only started winding you up since I remembered that I called Jake a virgin in front of the whole of the fucking media room in Ireland. So I thought,
I get it. It's only fair, right?
You're not
gonna bully Jake again on here, right? It's fair. I get it.
Oh well, this isn't bullying. Come on, this isn't bullying.
It can't be bullying. It can't be bullying if it's funny, Steve. Everyone knows that.
Is this isn't bullying, is it? Oh no.
I mean, I knew what to expect when I booked you as a guest for this stream. So.
Right. According to the UFC website, and this could be bullshit because the UFC website has given me some false answers in the past. According to the UFC website, how many active fighters does Scotland have in the UFC? 1, 3, 5, or 7?
3.
5.
Oban is correct. It's 3.
Paul
Did
Craig,
Danny Henry get cut?
And Chris Duncan.
Chris Duncan, he got them all as well. Extra point for Oban because
I thought
the name.
Danny Henry was still in the UFC and just hadn't fought in a while.
Who?
Is he? No, he's not in the UFC anymore, is he?
I don't know.
No, he couldn't be. How many Irish women fought in the UFC prior to Sean O'Bannon? None, 1, 2, or 3?
1.
All right, Steve's gone with 1. Oban?
1.
It is 1. Aisling Daly.
Fuck.
Yeah. She was walking out the zombie before it was cool.
Yeah.
That's how retro she is.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Yulia Stolyarenko, the woman that Molly McCann is fighting tonight, has only one UFC win. But who is it against?
I know this. Jessica Rose Clark.
Steve. Henan Barrow was an option. All right. And it would have been funny if you let me read it. All right. The options were Kunitskaya, Jessica Rose Clark, Chelsea Chandler, the track star, or everyone's favorite former bantamweight champion, Henan Barrow.
Henan Barrow, why is that an option on there?
Henan Barrow is an option for everyone. All right. That's just he's on here a lot. God love him. Davey Grant made his UFC London debut in 2016 with a win over what now ranked top 5 contender? Is it Cheeto, Ricky Simone, Song Yadong, or Jonathan Martinez?
Cheeto.
Is it Cheeto Vera?
It is Chito Vera. He beat Chito Vera previously.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Was that 204?
No, that was
Bisping Silva.
Bisping Silva. Yep.
Nice.
When did the UFC first come to England? 1998, 2002, 2006, or 2022?
Wait, say it again.
When did the UFC first come to England? 1998, 2002, 2006, or 2022?
2002.
2002. I'm going to go with that with Ian Freeman, is it? And Mark
Correct.
Weir and them. Yeah.
All right. Who headlined that card? Frank Mir versus Ian Freeman, Michael Bisping versus Henan Barrow, Vitor Belfort versus Chuck Liddell, or Matt Hughes versus Carlos Condit? Or Carlos Newton, sorry.
Matt Hughes, Carlos Newton.
Hughes and Newton.
It's Carlos Newton, not Carlos Condit.
Fucking Carlos Condit, man.
Carlos Condit.
I was already laughing at the Henan Barrow thing. I was like, expecting Matt Hughes versus Carlos Condit.
What's funny about Henan Barrow, Steve?
It's such a shame that he's a punchline these days, because he was the best pound for pound fighter in the world for 10
I
years.
was a really big Henan Barrow fan when he was good.
Yeah, no, Henan Barrow was the shit, and then
It pissed me off when he started fucking beating everyone.
Yeah,
I was at when he fought in the UK. He fought Pickett and then Michael McDonald.
On that note,
Arnold, he was a good fucking prospect, wasn't he?
on that note, how many title fights have there been in the UK? 3, 5, 7, or all of them?
I'm gonna give
All of them.
Yes. Have all of the title fights happened in the UK?
Oh no. 3. So there was Bisping, Henderson, Leon. Who?
He's working out. He's working out. Yeah.
I'm giving you my answer. I'm giving you my answer.
Leon Usman. Title fights in the UK. What was the options again?
3, 5, and 7.
Fucking Usman, Edwards, Matt Hughes, Newton, and fucking Hendo Bisping. Sorry, there's only 3.
There's actually 7.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I had to.
Rampage Henderson. Barrow and McDonald was an interim. If that counts.
Yeah, I counted it. I counted it.
BJ Penn and Joe Stevenson.
Yes, that was on the list.
That was Newcastle.
Steve, go on, and again, keep going.
How many? Obviously, Usman, Edwards, Bisping, Henderson. How many is that? Hughes, Newton.
That's 5. And then there was 2 more that I now can't think of. Shit.
I feel like Anderson was one of them.
I'm gonna have to check
I can't believe there's 7.
I know it doesn't.
Hughes and
Doesn't
Newton.
feel right.
First one. BJ Penn won the title here against Joe Stevenson. Dan Henderson, Rampage Unified.
We need a
Bisping
haircut.
Henderson, Leon Usman, Michael McDonald, Henan Barrow, and something else.
Can't believe that.
What else has been here? No, this is just a bunch of Fight Night main events. Not giving me any answers. There are two more. I know there are two more.
I got 6. There should be one more.
Yeah. Fuck, this is gonna annoy me now if I don't get it.
Yeah, fuck knows, mate.
All right, last question because we're running deathly close to.
We are. The show's about to start.
Yeah, and I'm on live results duty, so I need to be zoned in. All right, who holds the record for the most UFC appearances in London? Jimmy Manuwa, Michael Bisping, Gunnar Nelson, or Makwan Amirkhani?
Bisping?
Americani.
It is Amirkhani. He has fought in London more times than anyone else.
Fuck you, Steve.
You know that though because Jamie brought it up one day on the podcast.
It was a bit on this show. That's yeah.
So that's unfair. You know what? We can remedy that though. Bring Oban on the show, and then he'll be privileged.
I don't think you will you?
You are now bright red.
I'm booting up Fight Pass here, Stu. But no. Yeah, he's not going to have you back on because of all the nasty things you've said to him today, which is I think it's a real shame. I don't think we should hold you to that.
I had a great time, Oban. It was a pleasure to have you on, Oban.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I hope so. You're not because Jake's shit staring now.
I'm not. I'm just here saying I don't think he's going to have you back on because.
You're just salty, mate.
He's petty like that.
One of your countrymen in your own back fucking yard, Jake. That's what
I was rooting for you, lads. I was rooting for you. I was there talking to all the rest of the lads. They were like, "Oh, I hope Sheehan wins," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, me, Sam."
But they all saying they want Sheehan to win, yeah.
Yeah, all of them. They're all complete bastards. Only do interviews here. We're the only ones who support you.
What? So Sean Sheehan fucking...
Apparently we're great at supporting Irish fighters as well, according to Andy Hickey.
Good man, Andy Hickey. Back in the boys. Man Andy. But no. Everyone was impartial. Everyone was impartial. I'm just, except for me, because I was rooting for you, because you're the Welsh gangster, and exactly. So don't do interviews with anyone else. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them, boys. Fuck them. With the new car, with the fucking Contender Series fight on the horizon. Fucking hell. It's all going off. Steve in my corner, with Jake
always,
in the corner.
Always.
Yes, boys. I love the banter, boys. This is one of my favourite interviews I've done for a while. Fair play.
You know what? We'll get you back on. We'll get you back on. I don't know, a week or two before your fight. So 2 weeks time we'll do a sit down episode. We'll get the rest of the lads on as well.
We'll have another laugh. Yeah, make sure you two are there. Then make sure Steve's there.
We're like the two constants of the podcast. Everyone else kind of comes and goes a little bit, but we're usually there every week. So
Steve, make sure you stay off Sean O'Bannon's Instagram now.
And with that, we're rolling right into the fights.
Yeah, the fights are about to start. Thanks for taking the time, Oban. It's been great to have you on. I mean that. I can take a bit. It's fine.
Oh no, love you, Steve. I'm only joking, mate. I'm only joking. Boys, thank you. Yeah, well, I'll make sure I get the fucking job done, and we'll get in the UFC.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. We'll see you soon.
Yeah,
thanks boys. Take care.
Take care.
No worries, mate. See you later, boys. Ta-ra.
See you, man.
Fucking hell.
That was something. Jesus.
That was more than I could have imagined, honestly.
You
know what? That was my first time speaking to Oban, and
Oh no, he's every bit of what you think he is. He's a serious bit of stuff. I'll give him that.
Yeah, serious bit of stuff in the cage as well, and we're going to see that next month.
Yeah. Now though, Steve's favorite fighter, Sean O'Bannon, is up. Actually, she's not up now.
No,
It's
the second fight.
it's
Yeah.
You know what? I hope he gets it done because, in a way, I feel like he should have beaten Mo because, like, no one has their knee ripped like that and wins the fight. It doesn't happen. So, yeah, I'm on live results duty now. So,
Yeah,
gonna sign myself off for the evening.
We'll wrap this up. It was good doing this again. We should do this for a US show one time. Do it for
I mean, if we've got time next week, we'll run on for 291.
Yeah, sure.
Grand.
Yeah, this was fun. So yeah, we'll be back hopefully during the week with a new Rebel Money episode, recapping UFC London. That should be the plan. And then
potentially with some guests on that one as well. From the whispers we've been hearing in the chat, we're trying to set something up. So
I have not on the chat now.
No, it was yesterday, I think.
Oh, I do not think I've seen this.
Kyle is setting something up.
Oh yes, that okay.
Yes, with that. So
sounds good.
All
I
right.
have a lot of questions after last night. Like what? Yeah, I won't. I'll end the broadcast and then tell you what I was gonna say because I might give it away if it doesn't happen. We're gonna wrap this up. Yeah, this was a fun time. Shout out to Claire, big fight coming up next week. Shout out to Oban, big fight in a couple of weeks. Yeah,